everyone, my name is Brett Comstock. How are you all doing today?
Good.
Good, I'm good too. I'm really looking forward to this presentation. So the presentation that I will be doing is comparing for-profit and not-for-profit theaters. You may have noted the spelling of theater on my first slide. I'm standing right in front of it. Oops. But it's very intentional because I'm specifically talking about like the actual theater, not the art of theater. So that's why it's spelled that way. So basically, I will be going over the different reasons why people might do, the respective types of theaters, the benefits of each one, the pros and cons, what makes them innovative. So let's get into it. Overall, and this is a really great quote that I found from, I guess I should stand here, goodness me. This is a great quote I found from AmericanTheater.org. Nonprofit and commercial interests can weave together in a seemingly endless number of contractual permutations. A nonprofit can develop and produce a new work that a commercial producer subsequently picks up for Broadway or beyond. A producer can bring a potential commercial property to a nonprofit to develop it, or a theater can solicit a producer's financial support in order to produce an ambitious new show in exchange for the first right of refusal, should its reception warrant future life. So that was very wordy. Basically what it's saying is not-for-profit and for-profit aren't mutually exclusive, or no, they're not, what am I trying to say? Individually exclusive. So they can be intertwined, and they can actually benefit each other, and they don't have to work on their own, which I think is really interesting. And that brings a whole new idea to the idea of innovation in theater. So for-profit, it's also known as commercial theater. And it's mostly thought of as an organization whose priority is money, not the mission. So basically, it's kind of looking at theater as more of a business than an art form. So business comes first, and then the art kind of comes second. And as far as innovation goes, I used a little idea that my dad always brings up to me when he's talking about art. He's a screenwriter, and he always says that he does his best writing when someone gives him constraints. So I said, with restraints come freedom. And that's what he always says. So the way that they could be innovative is taking these restraints and realizing we can make something really cool out of this. Because when there are constraints, you kind of have to be even more creative because you have to work with what you're given instead of just coming up with something out of the blue. As far as not-for-profit goes, it focuses on helping the community rather than gaining money, which is really interesting. And I think it's really important to call it a not-for-profit instead of a non-profit organization, because these organizations can still gain a profit, but it's called not-for-profit because that's not the main goal. Administrators are watched closely by the IRS, which is something interesting that I read on communitytheater.org. Because if administrators and producers are gaining too much benefit from this, they could get in big trouble, and the organization could be stripped of the privileges they get from being a not-for-profit organization. And a way that this can be innovative is because they have absolute freedom. So it's more about the art. So someone can have an idea, and they can say, well, you know what, like, this is exactly what I want to do with it. And it can be more collaborative, which I think is super cool. So here are kind of the main differences between the two. So for-profit organizations have actual employees who are paid by the organization, and not-for-profit organizations are supported by volunteers, which makes it kind of cool because these people actually really have to want to be there for a not-for-profit organization. The for-profit organization, as far as theater goes, is normally kind of one show with one producer. When you think Broadway shows, this is what you're thinking of. And the run is indefinite for a production. So as long as it's still making money, the show can just keep going and going and going. Whereas a not-for-profit organization, they normally kind of plan a season, and they do multiple shows and have a limited run for each show. A for-profit theater cannot accept like grants and donations, that sort of thing, but they can have like shareholders, that sort of thing. And a not-for-profit organization runs on donations and grants from people who really care about it. A for-profit organization they pick their shows based on kind of what will make the most money, what will sell tickets, bring in the most people. And a not-for-profit organization, they can kind of just do whatever show they feel like doing. And then the for-profit organizations, they have royalties for people. A lot of times, like, it's equity actors who are doing this, for their rights. And then as far as not-for-profit goes, again, there's no profit for the actors, but it can still be extremely professional, especially because for not-for-profit, it's almost guaranteed that the people who are doing this genuinely care about the art, and so they want to keep it professional. This is my works cited. So in this presentation, you have learned about the main differences between not-for-profit and for-profit organizations, kind of the benefits of both, and also there are downfalls for both. So the most important thing to remember is, we love theater. Hopefully all of us in this room love theater, and I think it's important to kind of, give both a shot and know what you're looking for as far as your career in theater goes. So thank you for listening.